Every time you see a picture of your textbook, please first read the part as indicated and then continue with the rest of your learning unit. Now, read "What is environmental economics" on page 2 of your textbook. We're looking at figure 7.2 on page 145 of your textbook. Now, we just talked about benefits. We said there's something like a direct use benefit, an indirect use benefit, and also something like non-use benefits. Now, some of these benefits can be represented graphically very easily, and this is what figure 7.2 tries to show. It tries to show that what the improvement in the economy is the moment there's an improvement in the environment. Now, the example is, they said there's an improvement in the air quality, and this caused an improvement in a farmer, which can be seen as an economic worker. He had an increase of crops. So let's have a look at that at the graph. First of all, I'm going to write on this side price. It's important to always name your axis. I see the textbook uses a dollar sign. It's because it's an American textbook and they refer to the prices. But I would prefer if you write out prices and then in brackets a P, showing that we use P for short for prices. And then the origin, I put a little 0 to show this is where prices, this over here is where prices and quantity is 0. X-axis, I call it quantity. The textbook calls it quantity of output. It doesn't matter, you're going to call it quantity or quantity of output. I'm just going to write in brackets Q to show that I use Q for short for quantity. Now, first of all, is this a supply curve. The textbook shows us a curved supply curve. You might say this is new to you. In first year economics, you didn't use a curved supply curve, but a straight supply curve. That's fine. It doesn't matter which one you draw, as long as it's an upward sloping curve. Alright, meaning the higher the price, the higher the quantity this farmer will produce. Then the other thing that might be a bit tricky is that usually in a market like this, we always have a demand curve. Now, in the textbook, there is no demand curve, but they did draw a straight line over here, which was basically the price line. Now, you might remember that in first year economics, we said that if a market is perfectly competitive, then a single firm in that market would have a straight demand curve, meaning they are price takers. They don't have a choice on the price of their product. So even if they produce 1 unit of crops, they still get the price of the market price. Let's call it PM, the market price. Even if they produce 1,000 units of crops, they still get the market price for every single unit. Now, the total market has a downward sloping demand curve, but the single firm in that market only has a straight demand curve, a horizontal demand curve. This isn't very important to this concept we're trying to explain. This is just important for you to know that this price line we have here is actually also the demand curve. Like I said, not central. You can just, if you don't understand it, you can just draw it like this. This is not the central part of this graph. Let me just take out all the unnecessary things. Alright, there we go. Now something happened. It's not the farmer that caused this event. It was something external. For instance, a factory nearby that polluted the air closed it down, or the government told the factory it should pollute less, made a policy for less pollution. Whatever the case is, there was something caused an improvement in air quality. So air quality improved. Now, the moment air quality improved, the farmer reaped some benefits. So, for example, maybe his workers were sick, they had asthma or infections of the sinus, and they were sick due to the air pollution. Now the air pollution decreased, and now they're healthy, they can work more effectively, they're more happy. So this is good for the farmer because now his laborers are more effective. Or the plants uses the air to grow, so cleaner air would be beneficial for his crops, and they would grow more effectively. So what happened is there was an increase in the supply curve when the air quality increased. Let's call this S1, something different, and then also remember to show with an arrow the movement, so I know it went from S to S1, not the other way around. Now, very important is also to always indicate where equilibrium was. Before the improvement in air quality, we were at the equilibrium of let's call it E1. Then the air quality improved, our supply curve moved from S to S1, and now we are at the equilibrium of E2. Initial equilibrium, the farmer produced a quantity of Q1 crops, and after the improvement of air pollution, the air quality, it produced quantity of Q2. So there's a huge improvement in his quantity crops without him doing anything. It's something external happened, the air quality improved somewhere else, and he just had some external benefits of that. Now that's basically why we have this whole graph. They go further. Let me just show you with a highlighter to say initially the farmer received this amount of money. Why do we say that? Because the amount of money you get in is the price of each product you sell times multiplied by the amount of products you sell. And if you remember from school, that'll give you this area over here. It's just this value over here times this value over here, and it gives you this area. Right, after the increase in air quality, let me just take that yellow away. After the increase in air quality, now the farmer has a quantity, he still sells at price B, but now he sells more at Q2. So this whole area over here is now the amount of money he gets in. So you'll see there's a huge increase of money coming in without him changing anything. He just reaped the benefits of improved air quality. Okay, let me just take this blue. Now initially when we were at E1, his total revenue income, like we said, was this block over here. But the only part that actually we can say was profit was only the part above the supply curve. So this was his profit initially, right? Then the air quality improved. Now his revenue increased to this whole block over here. But can you also see that now his profit also increased to above the new supply curve, right? So this is his new profit. So he has a huge increase in benefits only because pollution decreased in his neighborhood. And that's figure 7.2.